Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making rustic potato soup. We're going to be using the Philadelphia cooking cream, the savory garlic flavor, to give this soup a wonderful creaminess and a nice garlic flavor to it. Now, I've gone ahead and I've already chopped up some onion here, and I'm working on chopping up my red potatoes. I've taken some red skin potatoes, washed them, scrubbed them nice and clean, and then I'm dicing them up here. Just give them a nice even dice. You don't want to peel them. You want the peels on them to give it a nice rustic feel to this soup. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting these chopped up, and then I'll put them in my pan and get them in some boiling salted water and cook them up until they're fork tender, and then we'll go ahead and finish our soup. Welcome back. As you can see, I've just diced up some thick cut bacon, and I have fried it up here in my pan, and I'm removing it to a paper towel lined plate to go ahead and drain off some of that grease. As soon as I get this all out here, we're going to continue working on our soup. Just to the same exact pan, I'm going to go ahead and add those onions that I sliced up a little earlier. That's great. Put those aside to drain. I've got my heat on right around medium. I'm going to just go ahead and add my onions to that hot bacon grease. We're going to go ahead and saute those up. And once they're nice and soft and browned, then I will come back and we will finish off this soup. The potatoes are almost done. We'll go ahead and we're just going to drain those and add the onions and some chicken stock and the Philadelphia cooking cream. It's great. Okay, as you can see, my onions have cooked up nicely here. And I'm going to go ahead, and I've drained my potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put my potatoes back on the heat. And I'm going to go ahead and drain most of that grease off, but I'm going to put the onions right in there with my potatoes. Get most of this out here. Okay, I'll put this aside. Stir. Go ahead and add some chicken stock. Okay. I'm going to let that come up to a simmer. But while it's heating through, I'm going to take my potato masher and I'm going to just kind of roughly mash these potatoes here, because I want my soup to be somewhat creamy and somewhat chunky. So I'll just give it a rough mash there. There we go. Put that in the sink. A good stir. It's looking great already. Well, we've got those boiled red skin potatoes with the skin still on. We've got the onions that were cooked in the bacon fat, the chicken stock. There's a few pieces of bacon that got left in the onions that are in there. We're going to let that come up to a simmer. And while we're working on that, we're going to go ahead and put in the savory garlic cooking cream. Now, this stuff is totally awesome. It's nice and garlicky and very, very smooth. It'll melt into your soup and just give it this rich, creamy base. And we're going to go ahead and put a goodly amount of this in there. Got a spoon. Alright. When making the recipe, it calls for the entire tub of the savory garlic cooking cream. I, however, am only making enough for 2 people. If you divide the recipe into 1/3. It'll make enough for just 2 people, for those of you that don't have a large family. But the the recipe makes enough for 6 servings. So I'm going to just stir that in there. Alright, now you can, if you would like this completely smooth, you can just pop it into a blender, and it's really, really good that way too. I like it a little bit of both, like the best of both worlds. Alright, and that's turning out just wonderfully here. It's creaming up nicely. I'm going to go ahead and let this simmer for maybe 10-15 minutes, just to thicken just a little bit, evaporate some of the liquid, and then I'm going to dish it up, and I will show you what it looks like all dished up. Okay, my rustic potato soup is almost finished here. I have my nice little sauteed onions, my potatoes. Those potato skins are in there. Now I'm going to use that bacon that I went ahead and sauteed up earlier. I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to sprinkle some crispy bits on top and stir it in and eat it. And this way the bacon stays nice and crispy while you're going ahead and eating. And I'm going to enjoy my lunch. I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I do.